the time in between videos. So I figured this is a good time to tackle the login and create an account page. So let's go ahead and head to those pages. All right, so we are on login. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right. So we have input layer style text. So that's gonna mean that when we type in, it's gonna be that purple color, which is good. But what we don't want is, I can't see my inputs right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the prop variant and I'm gonna say filled. This is just a part of Chakra UI. So now, if I refresh the page, it's filled and that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to copy this variant filled and I'm going to add it here as well. So that variant is filled as well. So now I can type in my username and my password. All right, and those are filled. I am also going to add my color scheme green to the button, and I'm going to add it to this button here for the reset password. Perfect. That's looking a lot better. So if I go to my Coding with Callie website and I look at the login, you can see it looks pretty similar. Okay. Some of the spacing is different, but that's okay because it's a different project, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Good. Okay, so now let's look at the reset password modal. We can see that there's some fixing that needs to happen there. So let's go ahead and find that modal. Excuse me. Should be in components. Forgot password modal. And let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so this text, we're gonna say layer style. It's gonna be equal to text. It's gonna make it that purple color. All right, let's put this button, should be color scheme green. Good. And then for input, we should have layer style text. All right, so now if I go and click in here and I type in, it's gonna be that purple color. All right, I think that looks good, so I'm gonna close out of that. All right, now let's go ahead and move to our create an account page and let's do the same thing. So I'm going to close out of these. I'm gonna leave reset password up because it's clear that we need to edit that as well. And I am going to minimize some of these functions. All right. So let's go to input and paste in filled. Nice. Looks good. All right, then let's go ahead and make this button color scheme. It's gonna be green. Looks good. All right, so let's go to the reset password. Let's see if I can just do reset password. All right, and let's edit that. So on input, we want the variant filled. And on the button, we want our color scheme to be green. All right, that looks good. So we have most of those pages. We do not have our heading here fixed. So let's go ahead and fix that. All right, and then this is going to be layer style heading. All right, Let's get rid of that. Except I think it's supposed to be, is it supposed to be 28? Let's look. Yep, and then it looks like we also have the margin top 20. So add that in. All right, that is already looking better. Let's look at this. That looks good. That looks good. All right, let's go to log in. All right, so we are on our projects then. Perfect. All right, the next thing that we need to do is start editing our user story accordion, okay? I think styling is definitely necessary here because it's just like, it's unclear what all is what. I don't really have a plan though, so I'm going to start with the accordion closed and kind of see where I end up. But I might need to go back to the drawing board and think it through a little bit better, so we're just gonna have to see. So we're gonna start on the feature modal, and we're gonna go to the user story details accordion. All right, and let's take a look. So we have border 1 pixel here. Okay, so I think we need to add the color to it. So I'm going to go to theme so I can copy that purple color that we've been using as our border. Okay, and then I also think we need to add our border radius, which is going to be medium. And I'm going to copy this because this is trying to figure out where. Okay, so this is if we're updating the story name. Okay, so now you can see, okay, or if we are starting the delete. Okay, so we also want that to happen on the accordion. All right, so I think what we did was border none here. And then I think we added there. Okay, so let's take a look. Looking a little suspect so far, but in terms of when it's closed, it's looking okay. So I am going to go ahead and open the create feature accordion so I can take a look. I'm going to head up to the accordion. Okay, so accordion item we were right is border none. So let's take a look. It looks like we have layer style, hover, active, and border bottom. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it in. Looks like we don't have the is expanded portion of things detailed. So we're gonna have to add that. Okay, so that is gonna be right after accordion item, but before the H2. All right, and then let's go down. Then let's copy this. So below the accordion panel. All right, let's take a look. All right, we are looking a little bit off now. Because yes, this is not supposed to be purple, but that's okay. All right. Excuse me. Okay. So we want to go to look at box button. So on hover, we want this. Okay. Now I'm a little confused as to where the background color is coming from. Let's start my server again. All right, still purple. Looking for where accordion button. It's probably, yeah. Okay. So let's go look at what accordion button had. So border, top, radius. Okay, so let's do border is equal to 1 pixel solid. Now let's go get our purple color. So yeah, this one's just going to be a little bit different than our other ones. So we're going to have to play around and experiment in order to understand what exactly we like about it. And then we're going to say border top radius is going to be equal to medium. Okay. All right, so I feel like I like that. Okay, so I click it, it opens. Let's look at, that looks good. All right, so now when it's opened though, okay, so that's where we want the is expanded because we don't want all right, do we need to have cursor pointed? Okay, that looks good. So now what we want to do is we want to, let's go ahead and get rid of this border top on the panel. Okay, that looks pretty good. But we do want the border left, 1 pixel solid, and then let's put the color in. That looks good. Border right, 1 pixel solid. All right, and then we want border bottom, 1 pixel solid. All right, and then we want our border bottom radius to be medium. Does not look perfect. So now we need to figure out why it doesn't look perfect. Let's go ahead and comment this out and see. Okay, so we have some sort of border that is there. we need to figure out where it is coming from. So I'm going to comment out these two. Maybe it's coming from, it looks like it's coming from the add a task. I'm going to go look. So if I change this to border none. Okay, that does look like it fixed it. So let's go and fix this, uncomment it back in. All right, perfect, that looks better. All right, so it's looking worse, but it's gonna look worse before it gets better, so hopefully. All right, so we have our user story. Okay, I think I want to move my icons so they're all next to each other as well. So instead of the story status being in the middle, I think I'm going to move the story status up. Okay, I like that better. And I think I'm going to test out small. I think I like the small icons better as well. All right, I think that looks better. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish updating my icon buttons so that way they are all small. So I think that just looks better. Icon button size small. Icon button size small. Icon button size small. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and control search icon button. So now what we can do is we can kind of go through all of the icon buttons and update the size as we find them. So yeah, we're just updating, lots of guessing and checking, making sure everything looks how we want it to look. All right. I'm going to say that's good. All right, so now we have this status button that no longer looks good. So let's go ahead and look at task box and see what we can do about that button. I'm curious if there's a size small that we can just add, and it looks like there is, and that looks good. All right, so I think the smaller icons certainly look better. All right. I think what I want to do is I want to play around with the idea of making the tasks like a small, like an inset. So it's not necessarily the same row because I feel like it just like doesn't look great as is. So I want to first figure out this description. I do want to have a border bottom on it. So I need to find the description first. All right, so that doesn't have anything to do with the box that it's in. So let's do border bottom. It's gonna be 1 pixel solid. Let's go get this color. Nope. All right, so we are going to want it to that whole section. So let's try this. All right, that looks better. All right, so then I feel like this add a task, it just does not look, it doesn't look how I feel like it should look. So that's where we're going to tackle next. But I feel pretty good at this point about my user story and how the user story works and the interactions with that. So we'll end this video here, and in the next video we will tackle how we handle tasks within this user story. All right, see you in the next one.